You've probably heard this piece of advice a million times, right? Skip your daily latte and you'll end up rich. But is there actually any truth to that? Or is it just one of those things people say? Well, let's dig in and find out.
So let's just cut right to the chase. Is that coffee you're holding really the one thing standing between you and a life of wealth? I know, it sounds a little over the top, but the math behind it, well, it might just surprise you.
Okay, so it all starts with something pretty small. Let's say $5 a day. That's our price for a typical fancy coffee. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it feels like nothing. Pocket change, really.
But of course, it's a daily habit. So after just 1 week, that's $35. Still not a life-changing amount of money for sure, but you can see how it's starting to add up.
Now, zoom out to a full year. You've spent $1,825. Okay, that's a pretty decent chunk of change. You could get a new laptop with that, maybe take a nice little vacation. But it's hardly enough to retire on, right?
And look, if you're still feeling skeptical, you're right to be. Because simply saving this money isn't the whole story, not even close. The real magic starts to happen when we bring a couple of key financial ideas into the mix.
The first idea is the very heart of investing. It's a trade-off. You're giving up something you could have right now, like that warm, delicious coffee, in exchange for the chance to have more, something even bigger, down the road. So the crucial point is, we're not just talking about putting that coffee money in a jar.
And that brings us to this really fundamental concept, the time value of money. All this means is that $1 in your hand today is worth more than $1 you might get tomorrow. Why? Because today's dollar can be put to work. It can be invested to earn more. At the same time, inflation is always in the background, chipping away at the buying power of future money. But what exactly is that earning capacity? What's the engine that can turn a small daily sacrifice into a really significant amount of money later on? It's not just about earning interest. It's about earning interest on your interest.
Just look at how this works. It's incredible. If you invest just a single dollar with a 10% annual return, after 20 years, it's worth almost 7 times more. And you didn't have to lift a finger. Your money isn't just growing. The growth itself is growing. That, my friends, is the awesome power of compound interest.
So we've got the theory down. Now for the fun part. What happens when we take our $5 a day coffee habit and supercharge it with the power of compounding?
And this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Take a look at this chart. After just 10 years, your coffee money could be worth nearly $30,000. After 20 years, you've blown past the $100,000 mark. And after 40 years, you are looking at over $800,000, all from a $5 coffee. Suddenly, the latte effect doesn't seem quite so silly anymore, does it?
But hold on. Before you go pour your morning brew down the drain, let's bring this back down to earth. Because these numbers are based on a perfect, ideal scenario. And we all know the real world is rarely that cooperative.
See, that ideal plan assumes a steady 10% return every single year, and that's just not guaranteed. Real life has market volatility, ups and downs. That's investment risk. And then there's inflation, that silent force that's always working to reduce the future value of your money. And this is such an important point. You know that phrase, safe as money in the bank? It's true for the short term, but over decades, just saving isn't enough. As this quote explains, inflation can quietly eat away at your savings, which is precisely why investing, even with its risks, is so important for long-term growth. So, here's the most crucial point of all. This entire idea isn't really an attack on coffee. It's not about making you feel guilty or telling you to deprive yourself of small joys. The latte is just a stand-in. It's a symbol for something much, much bigger. Every single financial choice you make has a ripple effect. On a massive scale, if demand for cheese goes up, it can actually make baseball gloves more expensive because both rely on cows. And on a personal scale, it's the same idea. Every dollar you spend on one thing is a dollar you can't spend, or more importantly, invest somewhere else. And that's the real takeaway here. It's not about the $5. It's about recognizing that small, consistent choices, when you amplify them with time and the power of compounding, can dramatically shape your future. It's about getting mindful of where your money is going and what it could be doing for you instead.
So forget the coffee for a second. The real question this leaves us with is this. What's the recurring, seemingly tiny expense in your life that could be powering your financial future instead? What is your personal latte effect?